Invincible is a comic book series made by the man himself, Robert Kirkman. Now, if you know me, you know The Walking Dead is my favorite show of all time. I absolutely love Robert Kirkman. So when I heard he had a comic book series that was getting adapted into a TV show about superheroes, I was all in. Invincible was a show that I think I would say gets compared a lot to The Boys. The main reason I watched this show is pretty much because of The Boys. Around the time when Omni-Man got announced coming into Mortal Kombat alongside Homelander, I said, I watched The Boys. I want to see Omni-Man versus Homelander. I gotta watch this show. And I did, and absolutely loved it. I think for the first time I watched it, I loved it too much, so now rewatching it, I can see its flaws. But I am just so excited to finally talk about the show, and Season 3 is doing some stuff that I'm really excited about, especially with the blue suit. And also, if anyone's wondering, the only Invincible thing I have is this comic book I bought. I think it's like the first issue of the first part or something. I haven't read anything else. This is the only thing I have. I don't even think I've read it yet. So I don't have like a relationship with the comic books, and I don't need it to be the perfect adaptation, but I'm here to just watch a good show, and this is a way better show than I thought going into it. So I'm going to be talking about the first 2 seasons, in hype for the 3rd season, coming out actually tomorrow. The first episode of season 3 comes out as I'm recording this. I will be talking about spoilers for the first 2 seasons, and when season 3 is fully finished, I will be talking about that. And in the future, if I get around to it, I do want to talk about the Adam Eve special, so definitely look out for that. Let's get into my reviews for the first 2 seasons of Invincible. With Invincible season 1, I got recommended to it by the same friend that recommended me The Boys. Invincible season 1 is very, very good. I think it does a lot I like. A couple things I don't like is the animation. I think now that I've actually started to watch different animated shows and animes, going back and seeing the animation for Invincible, that's really my only con. Like, everything else with the show I think is really great. I really love the character of Mark Grayson as Invincible. We get our normal little story, like up and coming superhero, like he's Spider-Man. But I think the stuff with Nolan, Omni-Man, is insane. Watching the first episode of the show, and it's just this normal superhero show, and then you get like the little end credit scene type thing. He's just murdering all of them, is insane. I think the stuff with the Viltrumites is really good, and I really like that whole thing that they set up. I think the Guardians of the Globe are cool. The old ones, obviously. The new Guardians of the Globes are really cool. I really love Adam Eve, and I really think her and Invincible's dynamic together is really cool. Can't say the same for Amber. Hate Amber with a passion. She's like Mary Jane in Toby movies. I really like that the show just has so many fight scenes. I mean, I compare this to The Boys so much, and The Boys really only had like a final fight scene at the end of every season. But this show, as it's more of a superhero comic show, there's a lot of fight scenes. I think the fight scenes are choreographed very fast. Is it still choreographed if it's animation? I don't know. They're animated very good. Ending for the show, absolutely insane. I was definitely spoiled for it, and it wasn't like a big surprise to me, but oh my god, it's so good. The writing of Invincible and Omni-Man is just insane, and I love it a lot in this season. So I'm gonna give Invincible season 1 an 8 out of 10. Just a couple things. I think the show's kind of slow in a couple parts in the middle. Do think it's really good, but again, just a couple parts that are slow. It's not the perfect season, but it is still really, really good. Now let's go into what I have been waiting to talk about, season 2. Season 2 of this show may be one of my favorite season 2s of shows. The only thing I really don't like is Mark gets the beat out of him the entire season, and they're trying to show that how strong Viltrumites are, but it's like after a while it's like, bro, we get it, but he just keeps getting the beat out of him. So I am so excited for season 3 where we finally get the blue suit. I have been waiting for that. I need bloodlusted Mark, and everything else, the animation got this much better. They get rid of Amber. I think they do it in a good written way. It's not just like, oh, they broke up off screen. They do that good, and I think Amber's character does get a little better, but I am very happy that she's out of the picture. I think my favorite part of the season is Mark. The stuff with his dad, and the main story is he is trying not to be his dad. He is trying to be a good superhero, and I guess I can relate to that a lot, and I think it's just a really good plot point.
You know who else said that to me?
I'm not my dad. I'm not my dad!
Very relatable character for me. I absolutely love that whole story. But you get so much more stuff with Adam Eve that I really like. The stuff with Rex is really cool and really crazy. I mean, that fight scene where we think he dies, that was insane. And I think the writing of Rex's character this season is just so good. I also think the stuff with Alan and Omni-Man is really good too. Alan especially, I really like. And he finally gets transformed into the huge Alan. And I think Omni-Man just has a good story. I don't know if I could forgive him. I'm like on the fence. Like before I could in the beginning when I was watching it, rewatching it, I'm like, I don't know. The stuff with his son is really cool too, and the stuff with Deb, really good this season. Deb's writing is so good. Didn't really talk about her a lot in the season 1 part because she doesn't really do a lot. She's just kind of there, but I think she does a lot more in the season. I really like it, and the stuff with the bug planet is really cool. You know, when he gives him the hug, he first sees him again, and that fight scene is just really awesome. I think another thing that I don't really like is the Angstrom villain. They really hype him up, and he's kind of not all that. They do the whole teleport stuff. We see the Spider-Man reference, we see the Batman reference, we see the Fortnite reference. Look. It's the guy from Fortnite.
Let me break it down for you, Mark.
I think Aimstrom was just not as good as a villain, but I think he set up the Mark we're gonna get, and oh my god, that scene, I Thought You Were Stronger, was so good. I'm going to give season 2 of Invincible a 9 out of 10. Probably the best season 2 I've ever watched of the show. Maybe you rivals it a little bit. An amazing season, and I cannot wait to see what they do next with the blue suit and all this other stuff, Crag and stuff. That's gonna be so awesome. So yeah, guys, that was my review of both seasons of Invincible. Again, I will be talking about season 3 when it fully finishes, and in the future I do want to talk about the Adam Eve special, so definitely look out for that if you're an Invincible fan. But if you're a fan of so many other stuff, movies, games, shows, collectibles, I talk about all that here, so please make sure to subscribe with post notifications. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah.